Boxers Trainers Channel, and welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. And look, today I'm celebrating boxing. I do every day, basically, but today I'm celebrating boxing because I'm hanging in there doing the hard work in the name of boxing. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I do that every day, but it just really dawned on me this morning, right? Actually, a few seconds ago, right? That I'm doing what I need to do in order to make boxing the best sport in the business, the best sport of all the sports, right? That's what my objective is, to make boxing great. You know what I'm saying? I mean, at one time it was great when I boxed. It was great when Sugar Ray Leonard boxed. It was great when all the kings of that era were boxing. It was great. Muhammad Ali, Joe Frazier, to name a few, right? So I want to see and feel that same type of excitement when it comes to boxing. So I have to do the heavy lifting because, in my opinion, right, a lot of these guys with these chats, right, no slight to them, right, but in my opinion, right, you know what I mean, they do the basic minimum just enough to get through, to get the numbers accurate, and able to be able to get modified and get the dollars. Hey, that's that's cool. You know what I mean? But it has to be more, as far as I'm concerned, about boxing than just the almighty dollar. Right? It has to be a burning intensity, you know what I'm saying, inside of you, right? That want to speak boxing, want to say, you know what I mean? Want to speak boxing. It's about these fisticuffs. Bam. You know what I mean? It's about, you know what I mean, bring the best boxers, the best fighters to the forefront, right? As they make their appearance, right, in the ring, um, as the fights are scheduled, right? I gotta be the one that, you know what I'm saying, do the heavy lifting and really promote the fight. You know what I mean? Uh, Give an opinion, a definitive opinion, right, to the best of my ability about the outcome of the fight. Today, we are talking about um, Oshaki Foster, right? Look, on two occasions of recently, I have had the opportunity to have conversation about Oshaki Foster, right? And I mean, uh, for the in the best interest of correction, might I say, right? Let me say that I formally said that Oshaki Foster was the um, featherweight champion of the world, right? That is incorrect. Oshaki Foster is the WBC super featherweight champion of the world, right? And look, I had noted previously that it was my opinion that Oshaki Foster, shout out to the chat, Oshaki Foster wanted, I mean, wholeheartedly all the damn smoke in that division, right? I mean, he had went on different shows, different podcasts, right, and made it perfectly clear that he wants all the smoke in that division, and that's a good thing, right? That's what we, the fans, right, the journalists, right, we want to hear that. Right? That's good content. You know what I'm saying? If you have your heart in what you do and what you say, man, that's good content. The world will be clamoring to hear that. And actually, the world will be clamoring to see that specific fight. Right now, at that juncture that I'm speaking of, right, last week, right, I brought up the fact that Oshaki Foster wants to fight Shakur Stevenson. Now we went through that, right? And the thing about that fight was it never got made. Shakur Stevenson never said a damn thing about it, right? Because it was apparent to this journalist that Shakur Stevenson just didn't want that smoke. Period. No, he didn't want to smoke. Had he wanted to smoke, he would have said something other than probably rebutting the acquisition made by Oshaki Foster is that he wanted that smoke. He said nothing. So I relatively left it alone at that juncture, right? But I didn't leave alone the fact that Oshaki Foster said he wanted all the smoke. I'm like, is he serious? Is that something that, you know what I'm saying, he has his heart in being about? The smoke, right? It is, look, let me say this. Actually, in boxing, it is about that smoke. You know what I mean? Who has the heart, right, to call the opponent in your division, right, out to represent that smoke, right? So we already know that Oshaki Foster, the WBC super featherweight featherweight champion of the world, right, wants all the smoke. He has demonstrated that. Now here's the deal. To his delight, I hope, right, Raymond Ford, the accomplished, distinguished former um uh I want to say Golden Gloves champion. I think it was in 2018. He accomplished that feat. His amateur background is that of a pedigree. He's good, right? And then look, let me say this. I know he's good because I follow Raymond Ford. Raymond Ford is a talented scientific fighting machine when it comes to um, knowing how to box. He can box. You know what I mean? He can box. And look, it has been said that this was one of the fights that would test Oshaki Foster, right, about that smoke that he's hollering about that smoke that he's screaming at the top of his lungs that he wants, right? Now, Raymond Ford is a demonstrated veteran in the game, as far as I'm concerned. He only has 18 wins, but that doesn't preclude you from being a journalist in the game, right? It's how you perform, what you do in the ring. And again, Raymond Ford is a scientist in the ring when it comes to being able to do all the things necessary to put him in a class of a um, boxer, right? He can box, not fight, box, right? And I've made that distinction on 4 or 5 occasions. The boxer is a cat that does things scientifically, right? I mean, he moves according to his opponent's movements, right? He is one of the best adjusters in the game, a boxer versus a fighter. Fighter, I mean, you know what I'm saying? I'm making reference again, right? A fighter, you know what I'm saying? He all right, he good, right? But he takes on a lot of punishment, especially from a boxer. So, I mean, for me, I desire the art of boxing over the fighter because me, I didn't want to get socked. You know what I'm saying? I thought I was handsome, you know what I'm saying? And I fashioned my position in boxing behind the Muhammad Ali, right? And you know how he felt, right? You know what I'm saying? He was handsome. And that was what Muhammad Ali brought to the table when it came to expressing his views about himself and his boxing technique and style, right? That he was handsome and he was the best that ever did it. Oh, I think he proved that, right? So that goes a long way with my belief in the scientific nature of a boxer versus a fighter, right? A boxer is gonna, you know what I'm saying? He gonna be on his toes. He gonna move in and out. He gonna have a devastating jab, right? He gonna have a knockout right hand. You know what I'm saying? And he ain't coming in to get that kind of smoke with normally these dudes that fight get socked upside their face, hot and popped upside the stomach. You know what I'm saying? A boxer ain't going for that. But let me say this: a boxer put in that work necessary to be so elusive. That word is elusive. That he is so elusive that you know what I'm saying. You can't touch it. Now here's the thing. The other night, I had the opportunity to watch a female demonstrate some really outstanding scientific moves in the ring. And that was Queen Caroline Du Bois, right? She fought Terry Harper, right? And it was like some of the moves that she made, right? It was just, look, I was saying, damn, that young lady, that queen has an agility thing going on with her movement, right? I mean, she was like moving and it was like she was doing it with ease. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it was like, damn, wow. Her, I, it's kind of difficult to explain if you don't know what I mean when I say her agility was off the charts, right? Every time she took a step, right, it was like a spring in her in her foot. You know what I'm saying? She had that much energy where she was doing things as a boxer, right, that would definitely classify her as a boxer. Now, we don't want to get away from the particulars in hand, which is Oshaki Foster and Raymond Ford. Raymond Ford has similar techniques. He's very agile. You know what I mean? And that is one of the components of being a great boxer. Your agility, your ability to be there and not be there. You know what I'm saying? Get the hell out of the way when you need to get out of the way, right? And again, Caroline the Queen Foster was doing that. She was slipping. You know what I'm saying? I mean, slipping punches. Harper would throw a punch, she would slip up, and that's another thing about boxing, which you know what I mean. A lot of these youngsters out there don't know nothing about this, right? When you slip a punch, right, your opponent is obviously right in front of you. If you slip a punch, right, if you slip a punch, the opponent's body has to be within reach, right? So if you slip in a punch, a lot of boxers don't do this. You slip a punch, right, and I'm saying your lead hand, which is your left, right, is in position to sock, pow, bam, or whatever, right, bow up. It doesn't matter. But again, a lot of these youngsters, they don't know nothing about that when it comes to boxing. You know what I mean? I can go on and on and on about the defects in these boxes today versus the grind when it comes to the boxes of my era and before. You know what I mean? These cats get paid a lot of money, and I've said that time and time again, right? But they don't put in the necessary work to be considered as one of the boxers of past years. You know what I'm saying? And that's very important for you guys to understand. You know what I'm saying? If you understand that, speak on it. You know what I mean? I'm telling you that there is a huge difference between the scientific nature of boxers back when I was coming up, Muhammad Ali was coming up, as opposed to today. That demonstrations that I just spoke on in regards to the slip, right? Then that's normal behavior for a boxer. You slip, if you slip a punch, you in a position to sock him. I don't care. I mean, because he has put himself in a position to be socked up under a slip. You know what I'm saying? Bam, slip. I'm rolled up under him right there. Bam. You know what I mean? This is boxing at its best when it comes to the boxer's trainer's child, right? But back to the matter at hand. Oshaki Foster, right, is the WBC super featherweight champion of the world, right? Oshaki is 32 years of age. He's 5'8" with a 72-inch arm reach. He's a right-hander. 24 wins, 24 wins, 12 by knockout. He has 3 losses to his credit, and never been stopped no draws. He is ranked number 2 by Ring Magazine and all the existing sanctioning bodies: WBA, WBO, IBF, and WBC. Right? Um, Raymond Ford is 27 years of age out of Houston, Texas. He's 5'7" with a 68.9-inch arm reach. He's a southpaw. Ooh, Oshaki. And I know that Raymond Ford can box, right? A left-handed boxer has more of an advantage over a right-hand boxer because the right-hand boxer normally, when he's in the ring training, he's normally training with a right-hander, right? I'm quite sure during training camp he'll switch up and he'll get somebody in there on the left, or Shockey will, right? But at the end of the day, will that be enough time to correct the behavior of being in the ring most of the time with a right hander? Right. So I'm saying that to say that he is going to have to do some serious adjustment fight night, right, in the ring, right? Because uh, the fact that Raymond Ford uh, has the ability to be able to box, and he's a left-handed. Oh man, he gonna be. And look, and speaking of the fire and the smoke, right? Raymond Ford has said he wanted access at Oshaki Foster. Let's be perfectly clear about this. This ain't one of those fights where because Oshaki Foster said he wants all the smoke, right? That he's not going to get. He's going to get all the smoke when he comes in there to fight Raymond Ford, Raymond Ford is no joke, right? And I'm just so happy and elated to be in a position where I can break these things down to y'all, man, in a sense that they're understandable. You know what I mean? I try my best to put on a show where is that I can break down the techno aspects of these boxes, and I think I do a pretty good job of that. What y'all say? Uh, Drop it in a comment, right? So, um, El Foster is um, excuse me, it's 18 and oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, left-handed, right? He's 18 uh, wins, 8 by knockout. He has one loss to his credit. Never been stopped. He has one draw. Also, he's ranked number 6 by Ring Magazine. And let me establish this for the record. Ring Magazine should be considered as the prestigious ring. I mean, the prestigious, sanctioning body, right? I'm quite sure that they're not considered a sanctioning body per se, right? But their rankings are consistent with what people realize um, the position that the boxer is in. Um, I say that Ring Magazine is the prestigious one of the rankings. How about that? Okay. Um, He's number 11 by the WBA, number 2 WBC, WBO, number 7, and IDF, he's 4, right? So look, these cats got pretty good, damn good records, right? And these are boxers that I believe that y'all really want to see, man. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about smoke. In the boxing business, we talk about the smoke and the fire, right? Jump out of the frying pan into the jump out of the skillet into the frying pan, right? When you talk about the smoke. That's what I talk about, right? That's what look at that. That's what I believe in. You know what I'm saying? That the sport of boxing is just it's an elegant sport. You know what I mean? You know, in some instances, it reminds me of in a training phase thing of ballerina. Because that's when I boxed, that's what it was brought to me in regards to the movement, your movement, right? It has a ballerina appearance associated with right being able to, you know what I'm saying, to dance. I mean, graciously in the ring, right? You know what I'm saying, catch it, move, and pow, get off, and you know what I'm saying. It has a air of grace associated. A boxer, I'm talking about a pure boxer, man. You know what I'm saying? A pure boxer. And here's the thing. Have you ever heard that theory? Have you ever heard that theory discussed about the ballerina technique? No. The only one, I'll take that back. The only one that has been brought up about the ballerina technique is by Vasily Lomachenko. In fact, Vasily Lomachenko's father, right? He stopped him totally from boxing for I think maybe like 2 or 3 years and sent him to ballerina school, right? That's why. That's why Vasily Lomachenko, you heard me? It was so bad because he had all of components necessary, you know what I'm saying, to be a dazzling boxer in the ring. You know what I'm saying? He was hard to hit. Oh, that's a wonderful thing when you get hard to hit. You know, and see, I want to give a shout out. I want to give a shout out to Devin and Dream Haney for the performance that he put in on Devin Haney. I mean, on Billy Lomachenko, right? Because Billy Lomachenko, was like, you know what I'm saying? I mean, light years away in a technical sense over Devin Haney, right? But Devin Haney rose to the occasion, right, and went tit for tat. You heard me? Went tit for tat with Vasily Lomachenko. Now, look, you know what I'm saying? Boxing goes everywhere with me. You know what I mean? To get the particulars, to you. You know what I'm saying? And I think again that contrary to the fact that my numbers ain't where they should be, and they will be, because I am going to continue to dominate the art of boxing right to its fullest degree. And I know that I am definitely meeting the obligation to the holding your attention, holding your attention, right? The attention span is only of 5 seconds. If you ain't got nothing to say in 5 seconds, you lose interest. Psychologically speaking, it's 5 seconds. Not 5 minutes, 5 seconds. If you ain't said nothing in 5 seconds, I'm out of here. That is the scientific nature of what has been observed as the function of the um, the psychology associated with your recall. You know what I'm saying? With your memory. You know what I mean? So let's get back. Let's get back to Raymond. Raymond Ford. Ford had a distinguished Golden Gloves. Um, no, Ford had a distinguished amateur career winning in 2018 U.S. National Golden Gloves Championship at 123 pounds. Right. So I said that to say that this fight with Oshaki Foster, right, is going to be um, a battle. These cats gonna battle, right? And I just hope Oshaki Foster makes a good fight of it, right? Because at this juncture, you know what I mean. I'm kind of, what I'm saying, leaning toward um, Raymond Ford. I'm kind of leaning toward Raymond Ford. I think that um, with Raymond Ford's amateur background, and I've seen him perform in the ring on numerous occasions. Man, that cat is bad. He's bad, right? Don't try to take nothing from him because he has put in the necessary work for me to tell you that Raymond Ford is bad. He has to be ranked. Um, oh, yeah, okay. He's in the okay, one. The I the WBA has him at 11, but everybody else has him ranked up under the 10. 1 to 10, right, are the best in that division or those division, right? And again, um, Ford is number 11 in the WBA, but everything else he is beyond that mark. Right? So look, I'm just trying to explain to y'all. Get prepared for either a beatdown or war. Right. And I'm gonna say this again, that in my opinion, I believe that I'm leaning, I should say, toward a Raymond Ford. I like Oshaki, you know what I'm saying? But to me, Oshaki just hasn't been in the game, so to speak, long enough to get the necessary bones, the bones, right? The bodies, if you will, right? Uh, in his win column, right? You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, all night, that's what it's about. It's about collecting bodies, man. You know what I'm saying? My main uh, boxer, Devin the Dream Haney, is 33 and old, right? You realize that that man has collected 33 bodies? You know what I'm saying? Bodies. That may be a little, you know what I'm saying, extreme, right? Body. Man, but that's what it be at the end of the day. A winning column is the same thing as collecting a body, right? You know what I'm saying? And the thing about collecting that many bodies, 33, you have had to put in the work, right? Because those each time you get in the ring with a person, right? This is the way boxing is, right? That person is better than the last person you fight. The industry makes sure that when they put on these fights, right? So let's be perfectly clear about this when it comes to stacking in bodies, right? Devin Haney didn't take a cakewalk road to get to where he is, right? And I'm saying that to say that to Shockey Foster and Raymond Ford, right? Be about your business on actually I said the 27th, actually it's the 30th. No, it's May 30th, um 20 May 30th, 2026 in Houston, Texas. That is actually the stomping ground of Oshaki Foster. You know what I'm saying? So the advantages basically are leaning toward Oshaki Foster. But to a boxer, a pure boxer like Raymond, we don't care nothing about where he at. That's Devin Haney. Devin Haney kept winning. Devin Haney trucked all over the world to get them belts. You know what I'm saying? And look, that's what it's about when you want to be one of the best in the business, right? You going wherever you gotta go. You're doing whatever you want to do. And you know what I'm saying? I mean, I just have a certain things that I need to discuss with his pop about that particular theory, right? You know what I'm saying? But yet he has yet to make himself available. right? And I don't know the extent of what I will convey to him in regards to what I think, right, in regards to his son's best interests, right? But we'll see. We'll see. I am purist when it comes to the boxing, and I'm a purist in what I see in Devin Haney. Devin Haney's a good kid. You know what I'm saying? He's a good kid. Right. So look, man, I think I made my bones today. You know what I'm saying? I hope y'all enjoyed the uh, things that I've presented to you in the name of boxing, right? And I hope y'all stay with me. And look, share the video with your friends, man. Look, I can't really um, get glamorous in the scheme of in the boxing scheme of things until I get my numbers up. Right. Contrary to the fact that I don't, have visitors on my channel and what I'm saying, and that's the norm, right? That's how these cats, get their numbers up, right? You would think that I would have that type of uh, I would have that type of entertainment for the chat, but I don't right now. So you guys gotta stick with me. You gotta stick with me until I get the numbers up so I can get my butt out there in the street, you know what I'm saying? And do the things that y'all want me to do in the name of boxing. That being said, look. Hit that subscription button. One. Hit the like button. Two. Drop a comment in the comment section. I like your opinion. Also, on who do you think will be the victor between Oshaki Foster and Raymond Ford. That being said, look, man, I enjoyed y'all. Later. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, Faith. Faith. Wait a minute. Cancel that. I gotta cancel that and give a shout out to Faith. Shout out to Faith in the chat. Quite a few people in the chat. Wasn't it? Jesus Christ. Shout out to the chat. I love you all. Especially a shout out to Faith. How about that? Later.